So I'm just going to reiterate, hi, I'm Reese. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I am going to go through the navigating the online classroom, and I'm going to do a prerequisite. This is what I call um, the main hub. It's not like the official term, but you will find everything here. Anything and everything that you need to be a successful student is on this page. Here is access to your library. If you're stressed out, maybe there's a death in the family, we get free counseling, and I've taken advantage of those services before. I had a family member who was having an end of life experience, and I am now the matriarch of my family, and the gravity of that was just kind of hard to handle. Not really having any more elders in my family. TMI, I'm sorry. But so I went to the wellness center. Hi, welcome. I went to the wellness center and it really was beneficial. It really helped me center myself. So I highly recommend that you check out the wellness center and see what they can do for you. It's not just counseling. They have yoga, they have mindfulness, just things to kind of help center yourself and maybe emotionally regulate. There are career services if you're looking for a job. They will help you tailor your resume and your cover letter to the job that you're trying to apply for. Um, this right here is very important. This is your academic journey. Right here is your enrollment summary. It will take you to your schedule for the year. I'm going to hit it real quick. You're going to want to hit National University because they do have subsidiary colleges that we are connected and affiliated with. This will give you the ability to take a look at your schedule for the year. So as you can see, this is very important. So I had a student ask me, I'm going to be taking such and such class later on this year. That being said, am I going to need to buy the supplies for that course? And I'm like, I don't know, but I can tell you how you can find out. So this is where you will find all of your instructors' emails for the year. If it's blank, that means they don't have an instructor signed up for that class yet, but they will get to it. But this is the name of all the instructors that I will be having a course with and all of their contact information so I can send them an email. Also, here's the start date. The one thing about our program is we don't just start on the first of the month because some months are, have more than 4 weeks in it. So that means that at the end of that month, there's a little extra time. So we're probably going to start our next course in the same month. So that being said, you might want to check this out and it will let you know the start date and the end date. It will also tell you the name of your course. It will give you the course code. And if you're interested in knowing what the book is, over here on the side, you can click on it and it will tell you what your book or your textbook is going to be. It will not give you access to it. It will just let you know what textbook will be utilized for this for that course. Do not go over here and buy the book. Please don't go over there and buy the book because it's going to be attached to your course, and I'm going to show you just in a moment. Over here is going to be very important, your academic journey. You can also find your schedule here, but you can also get your transcripts, enrollments, verification, financial aid and tuition information. Up here is going to be your team, your academic financial advisors, your counselors, the ones that are going to help you with your schedules. These are the individuals that you will have someone assigned to you. For me, it's Lizette. I love her to death. I've had her for over a year now, and she's done really great. There'll be a phone number and there will be an email. I highly recommend you email. Because if you call, you're just going to have to leave a message and then they're going to try and call you back. And if you miss the call because it's some number that you don't recognize, well, then it's just a bit of back and forth. I find it's easier to just send an email and put the attention, whatever the name is, in the subject line, attention, and then whatever the name is. If you need, like now, it's an emergency, you don't have time for making an appointment, you go right here to the connect with your team, and it's on demand right here. On demand. You call them, there's a phone number, and somebody will pick up. So that's kind of important. Let me see what we got here. Hey, it's okay, Cooper. You're perfectly fine. So that's that. So I just want to kind of show you something about the library. I want you to contact me if you would like to see the video that I created on the DOI, and I can show you how to find articles with a number that is attached to academic sources online. For those of you who are older and remember the Dewey Decimal System, think of it as kind of like that, only for online academic peer-reviewed sources. And if you put, this is what it looks like, into the search engine, it just works better than keywords. Keywords, you just never know what you're going to get. You don't know if the library search engine is like going to like it and give you what you want, or maybe it's going to be like, is this what you meant? And you're like, no. So if you have the actual number, this is how you will be able to find your sources and get it like that. And if you would like more information on that, please reach out, schedule an appointment with me, and I'll be happy to go over it with you one-on-one. And I will show you how you can get all the sources you need in 10 minutes and be writing your paper within the hour. So that is that. So right here, when it is time, it will populate for you on Sunday. Your class will populate on Sunday. I know you're probably looking at it like, I don't know, do I have a course? Am I signed up? If you're talking to me, you have a course and you are signed up. They won't put you in with me if you're not, if you haven't been enrolled. So when on Sunday, you will get access the day before. So you will go here and you will hit course, go to course. This right here is your toolbar that you will be using to navigate your course. Right here, this is what like a notification. When you write your discussion posts, you're going to have students replying to your posts. This, see how this is lit up right here? This is going to light up also. When a student replies to your post, it will light up, then you click on it, and you can see, like right here, Janet Duffy responded to my week 4 discussion 1 post. And so I can go and I can read it and I can respond to it. It'll take me directly to it. It's kind of nice. Over here, you will be able to see your grades. This is where it will give you the notification that your coursework has been graded and you can come in and take a look. Now, I'm going to hit this. I think this is my test. It is. Anyway, you're going to want to hit grades right here. I think it's grades. And it will give you the ability to view the feedback on your assignments when they've been graded. And I'm going to say it's very important that you go ahead and click on feedback, because your instructor can tell if you're not reading their feedback, because they're trying to give you instructions on how you could have better written your paper, or if you didn't cite it properly. And, you know, maybe they're going to give you a pass this time, but if you do it again next time, they're going to ding you pretty hard. So that's where you're going to get that kind of feedback. And if you're not reading that feedback, well, that's ultimately at the end of the day going to hurt your grade. And if you're not reading their feedback and something happens and you need an extension on your next, assignment, they may not be so inclined to accommodate. So I highly recommend you check that out. So I want to get the course textbook out of the way. Some of you may have seen that I'm asking you to download an app on your phone called Bookshelf. When you go to Bookshelf right here, you're going to go in on Sunday. It's a very good idea to do all of this on Sunday. There's going to be, I can't show you what it's going to look like for you when you first see it because I've already opted in, but there will be a button right here that tells you, hey, opt in. So you're going to click it so it will give you access to that textbook. The minute you opt in, that textbook should populate in your app on your phone, and it will then become an audiobook. Now, we only have 1 week to get through sometimes 5 chapters, and some of those chapters can be quite lengthy. And it's going to be kind of stressful because we all have jobs, we have lives, some of us have families, and we have responsibilities. That being said, when you have your book on your phone in that app. You can listen to it in CarPlay while you're driving. You can have it in your earbuds while you're making dinner. You can be listening to it while you vacuum your house or clean the bathroom, whatever. Whatever it is that you're doing, you could be cheering your kid on playing baseball, football, and you woo, and then, be listening to your audiobook at the same time because you're going to have to learn techniques and for time management to be able to get this all done because this really does move quick. So that being said, you will hit read now. And once you hit read now, it will take you to your textbook. I'm just going to wait. Here we go. So this is my textbook. I'm in a world psychology course at the moment, and it will give you access. You'll be able to see the name right here, cover page. And if you need to see how you need to cite the book, you can go to, the first few pages, and you'll be able to see the name of the book. You'll be able to see the publishing information, title, author, all of that good jazz, what edition it is, so that you're going to be able to cite it properly at the end of your papers because you will be utilizing these chapters as a source for writing your papers because you're essentially just showing that you are able to knowledgeably write about the topics that you're reading and learning. So that being said, hopefully I have answered the questions about the textbook. Some courses do not have a textbook. Some courses will just have the curriculum built into the classroom itself. And in those instances, like for me, when I had my American Sign Language course, there was no textbook per se. It was just a workbook that was attached to the curriculum in the class. So hopefully you'll have time on Sunday. You will need to go through these little tabs right here. If you have time, write a little introduction. Every class that I've ever had, except for maybe one, you were required to at least introduce yourself. Say, hey, my name is, and this is my first course. I'm new here to National University. That also signals to the instructor that you might need some extra assistance. And my major is, I am from, and I look forward, even if you are not looking forward to it and you think the class is the most boring thing ever, do not let on to that. Just make it out like it is the most fascinating thing in the world and just, tickle your instructors, fancy. So that way, in the event you need help, that they're not going to have a bad taste in their mouth and they're going to want to help you. Some of these instructors are very passionate and take their courses very seriously. So, you don't want to like offend them. So right here to actually have contact with your instructor. This is very important. When I first started, it wasn't inherently obvious. How do I contact my instructor? How do I let them know I don't know what I'm doing and I need help? Well, right here it says ask your instructor. And unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit of time for them to reply. It's like a discussion post. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit open discussion, and then you're going to go in here, start a new thread. You're going to ask your question. Don't forget to put a title. And that is private. That is between you and your instructor. So ask whatever it is, and you don't need to feel embarrassed. Now, there is another area where it says general questions. You can ask questions in the general questions that might be beneficial for other students, and the students can read these and they can read the response of the instructor, such as in this course, a student asked, can I just race through the content and can I work on next week and the week after and just keep going and turn it in early? And the instructor's like, yeah, by all means, go for it. So if you have the ability to write your paper for next week and you can read everything and get all your content done for next week too, well, do it because you just don't know if like there's something that comes up that's going to take away your time. And, it's kind of nice to be able to just rush through it. I do that as best I can. Can't do it always, but it's nice when you are able to do that. Not all instructors will allow you to do it. The one thing that the instructor here did say is that you're not allowed to post your discussion and your discussion responses in the same day. Make sure you check up on that. I highly recommend you ask your instructor if that is okay, or if they want you to spread it out throughout the week so that you get credit for each and every one of your posts. That is very important. So you're going to go through the getting started. There's the course video. You're going to want to watch that over the course of, I don't know, a year. You're probably not going to want to watch them anymore. But when you're new, it's a good idea to check it out. Look at the course learning map. I always look at this because you're going to want to download this. You're going to want to take a look at what you're going to be doing and your due dates. That's very important. Look at the course resources and just kind of peruse. This is just information for you. Not horribly important, all of this, but it's a good idea to just kind of get an idea of what you're going to be looking at in your class. Now, course resources, this is important. What you will be graded on is called a rubric. They will tell you exactly what to expect and what they're looking for. So right here is the discussion grading rubric. So it's a good idea to download those, read them, and refer to them so that way you understand what is going to get full marks and what will get you graded down. This is a grading rubric for my assignment. And if I do not observe that, all of the criteria, well, then I'm probably not going to get a 100% and they will dock me. So whenever you see rubric, make sure that you take a look so that you understand what is expected of you with that assignment. So this is APA style. I don't know if you understand what APA style is. Some people have experience and understand that you have to write your paper in a certain format. If you are unaware of how to write a college paper in a format, please reach out to me. There's no need to out yourself here. Just reach out to me privately, and I will make sure that you have the tools to see how to make a paper and templates. There are templates. All right, so I want to just make sure you understand you're going to want to go through the course home, look through the syllabus, really important content and course home. Hey, how you doing? You're going to want to go ahead and look at both of them because sometimes you're going to find information that should be here and isn't, such as what chapters am I reading? I had a course where I went through here and went through the week, and it's you're supposed to give me the week one reading, and it didn't state. Hey, would you mind to mute your mic for me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. So it will tell you what chapters to read. Something to note, they're not always in order. I made that mistake when I first started. I started reading chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And next thing I know, I was like, wait a minute, why are we on chapter 12? And it's like the first day. So make sure that you take a look and you understand what chapters you're supposed to be reading, because it really stinks when you've read like 4 chapters that you weren't supposed to read. And then you got to go back and read more. So that is the biggest bit of advice that I have for you there. You can find your grades here. Grades. You can also have access to your library. Here's also where you can find out how many discussion posts and assignments you have. Again, I'm going to reiterate because we just had somebody pop in. When you want to gain access to your textbook, because this is the hottest question I'm getting right now. How do I get my textbook? Where do I buy my textbook? Where do I find, what my textbook is? It's in your course. It is embedded in your class. You will gain access through this bookshelf tab, and you want to download, I'm going to reiterate, download the bookshelf app. So something that I would also like to bring to a head is over here is a little drop down. You can set up a profile. I recommend that you do. I never recommend putting your actual photo to prevent implicit bias. It's just a scientific fact that people have biases that they're not aware of, and to prevent any mishaps with your grade, I just recommend putting, something that represents you, that feels important to you. and put it here as just something. And then go ahead and fill out your profile. But it's up to you if you, I'm not saying don't put your profile picture. You can if you want to. It's just something that I've been cognizant of and something I became aware of over my time as a psychology major. And so I just thought I would share that with you. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you here. I've not actually experienced that here at National, but at the same token, it's something that I have learned exists. So here I want to point out progress. In this drop down under your name, you hit progress. And what the importance of this is sometimes, like I told you, over here, it doesn't really show you what it is that you're going to be doing. Sometimes it's missing, and I don't know why. To cover yourself, I would recommend coming over here and clicking on all of these tabs. Check, like, the content tab. It will show you if you have actually finished everything at the end of the week. And if it's for some reason show something like you didn't do a checklist, I've seen that happen. It gives you the link to be able to do that. Also, it gives you a link to your discussion posts. I've for some of you who have had a private one-on-one with me, you understand, the importance of this. My course has 2 discussion posts and I have to respond 3 times to per discussion post, and I have to spread it out throughout the week. It's confusing. I can hardly remember how many times I responded to the first post and how many times I responded to the second post. So what helps me keep my head screwed on is going here and dropping this down. So here I can see I created a post on the 20th. So I know I created my post. On the 21st, I responded. On the 22nd, I responded. And then on the 23rd, I responded. So I know I'm good for that class, or excuse me, that post. For my second, I know that I created my post and posted it on the 22nd, responded on the 22nd, oh, excuse me, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So I'm good. I've spaced out my responses. I didn't respond on the same day that I put up my post, so I should be good so long as the content is up to par. All right. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pop out of the classroom unless anybody has any explicit questions. Now's the time to ask about the classroom. All right, so let's get out of the classroom. I'm going to move on. We all are going to be from different backgrounds, different majors, and pursuing different, we're all going to have different curriculum. But the one thing that we all share is that we will be taking general education. And that being said, you are going to have to write an English paper at some point. So not all of us are English majors. So it's kind of a good idea to come here to the Academic Success Center. For those of you who came earlier, you know that I kind of pointed here and alluded to this is where you could get a tutor. Right here, there are resources for legal writing for all of you who are, going through a major for like law or that kind of stuff. Some of you are more math oriented. Maybe you're going to do accounting, writing resources that are going to help you with writing your paper. Here is where you will find the APA format because most papers are going to be in APA. Legal writing is going to be in something called Blue Book. Man, I tell you what, I have learned a lot being an Orientation Peer Navigator about all the different majors and all the different formats that everybody has to write in. So if you're a legal, like in the legal side of things, you're going to want to learn about Blue Book and how to cite in Blue Book if you haven't learned it already. And we're also going to all have to learn APA because APA is how you're going to be citing a lot of your papers in your English courses. And I took a history class and they wanted it in MLA. So you're going to have to kind of learn all these different formats to write your papers and turn it in and cite your work. So in order to do that, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want to make an appointment. I always recommend coming in here. I don't care how accomplished, like, I mean, I don't want to sound harsh, but it doesn't matter how accomplished we think we are as a writer. I have been humbled I thought I was like the best writer ever. Not to, expose myself for having an inflated ego in that department. But let me tell you, they humbled me and they humbled me quick. And it really was stressful all of a sudden realizing just gravity drop that, you don't know what you're doing. And even though you thought you did, and you could have just gone to this little spot right here, made an appointment, and somebody with a doctorate could have told me that, hey, this is probably not going to get a good grade, and here's why. So I would recommend coming in here, going to the writing schedule, and if it's white, that means it's available. But something to note is you're going to want to make sure that it is not geared towards a certain class. Like some of these are for sociology. Hi, welcome. Some of these are for sociology and some of them are for English. Some of them are for art classes. So you don't want to try and get writing assistance when it's not for your specific course. And if it doesn't have a specified course and it just has a name, then you're good to go. Audrey is really good. I've used her on several different occasions. Let me come down here. Oh, and if you're in a research course, if you're ever having to take a research class, you're going to want to come here and you're going to want to look at research design. There are group sessions and there are also one-on-ones that you can have, graduate research writing sessions. I would recommend that you try in your first week to make one of these sessions because it is going to be fundamental in your ability to get a good grade. So, I always recommend that you make an appointment a week in advance. These are, I mean, there are only so much time in a day. There's only so many days in a week, and you can see how many there are. So they fill up quick. So when you take a look on Sunday, I would go ahead and if there's an available appointment, I would make that appointment, even if you don't think you're going to need it. Now, remember when I say your discussion posts are going to usually, if you only have one, so look to see if you have one discussion post due or if you have two discussion posts due. If you came in late and you didn't see where to find your discussion posts, we can discuss that privately. Um, so just make sure you check to see if it's one or two. If it's two, your due dates are most likely, don't quote me on it. You have to do the work and make sure you see what your due dates are, but they're typically going to be Tuesday and Thursday. So just keep that in mind. And usually your assignment paper will be due on like anywhere from Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So just keeping that in mind, I would make an appointment no later than Wednesday for the assignment. The discussion posts, don't worry about too much. Just make sure that you cite your work even in your discussion posts and that you create a reference page even for your discussion posts. You're going to want to make sure you make an assignment no later than Wednesday. So that way, if they give you any constructive criticism, you have time to make those adjustments if you want to take their advice before you need to turn it in. So that is the Writing Center. I highly recommend you take advantage of it. There's also help with statistics. I don't know if any of you are psychology majors. Some of you are. But if you are, you're going to end up taking a statistics course. And let me tell you, it's a pain in the butt. It has nothing really to do with your ability to do math, and it has everything to do with your ability to navigate the system. So that being said, you're going to want to, probably get some math and statistics assistance that will be able to help you. Also, if you want tips and tricks, you can always reach out to me, what I call micro resources, and I will give you the tips and tricks that I used to be able to get through that course. They use something called StatCrunch, and it's got a lot of drop down menus, let me tell you. Let me see here. So legal writing, there's assistance for legal writing. That's going to be very beneficial for all of you law majors. And proofreading services, they're not free. They do charge for that. However, if you go into the schedule and you go to make an appointment, I'm going to kind of go through that process. At the very bottom, you can upload your rough draft, and that way they can look at it before you start. And you can tell them, hey, this is my rough draft. I want to go over my rough draft with you and see if there's any adjustments that I should make. And essentially, you're kind of getting a free proofreading without getting a proofreading. Don't use the word proofread because then they're going to refer you to the proofreading, you know. But this is kind of the workaround that I've used. And for those of you who are in the English 102 or the ILR, you're going to want to know how to make an appointment because in my courses that I took, it was a homework assignment to make an appointment with a writing coach. And you have to know how to get this system to send confirmation that you have done so. So in order to do that, you're going to go here and it says, if you would like anyone, for example, a professor or an advisor to get, an alert, you're going to want to put their email address right here. And if you recall, when I showed you that list of your schedule and where you can find all of your instructors' email addresses, you'll know how to get their email address. You'll know to go ahead and put their email address here. Here you'll put your instructor name. As you can see, they've said English 102 right here. More than likely, this one right here is more than likely going to require you to make to put your it's probably, I don't know what this class is. I'll be honest. I didn't take that. But if it's listed, I'm going to say pretty confidently this is going to be a requirement. So it's just very good for you to know that if you want to make an appointment, you will need to come in here and you put your course that you are taking, fill all this out, put what it is that you're doing, say this is an assignment for, or I would like you to look at my rough draft, and then you will need to put the email address so that that instructor gets confirmation that you were here, and they will send confirmation when you show up. So make sure you make that appointment. And also don't forget to attach your assignment because that way they can look at it and you're not spending a lot of time explaining the assignment. They've already looked at it. So now, when you've made the appointment, how then do you know how to join that appointment? That was really difficult for me to figure out when I first started. So what you will do is just like we did to get here, we're going to go to the main page. You're going to access right here. You're going to go into writing resources. Oh, excuse me. I lied. You're going to go into schedule an appointment area, writing schedule. And then you're going to go, make sure you look at the day and write down the information. Make sure it should send you a confirmation to your student email. If you don't know how to access your student email, please contact me and I'll be happy to have a private session with you to give you a little tutorial or send you a video link that you can watch in your own time if my schedule doesn't work for you. So what you will do is you will go to the day and you will look at the person that you have the appointment with and the time, and you will click on that box and it will give you the ability to join. Does anybody have any questions about the Academic Success Center? Okay, moving on. I'm going to get out of here. All right, so we have gone over, let me see here. We have now gone over how to access your course. We have now gone over this toolbar. Again, reiterating, this is where you will find your financial aid counselor and your academic counselor that will help you with your scheduling. It also lets you know who the directors of the program are. Just to give you a heads up, in June, they're going to be doing some maintenance and you will not have access to your academic counselor and you will not have access to your scheduling. So finances and scheduling are not going to be available to you. So if you have any issues that need tissues, I highly recommend that you contact them now, before June anyway. This is how you're going to take a look at courses. Also, Navigate Home and Brightspace Home. This is where you will find some tutorials. If you have the time and you're feeling like a go-getter, you can come in here and take a look at, the library. It'll give you like an overview. Homeroom is really nice. It will give you an overview. gives you just things that you can take a look at. I'm not going to really go over it. I just want to make you cognizant of the tutorials that they have for you that you can look at on your own time. There's also LinkedIn Learning. I highly recommend you go into LinkedIn Learning. There is a really amazing class on AI and how to make AI work for you in an ethical way. I will also encourage you to consider using ChatGPT and creating a free account. And a lot of people have some mixed feelings about it, but the fact of the matter is you only have so much time to find sources. And if ChatGPT can find academic peer-reviewed sources for you in a matter of 10 minutes, and you've got 10 resources to choose and download to your computer, and you can just start writing. Well, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. You should utilize that resource because we don't have a lot of time. And if you're going to when I first started, I was spending hours looking for appropriate sources for my assignments. And if you can find it in 10 minutes, why not? If you would like a tutorial on how to do that, please contact me and I would be more than happy to go over that with you. So hopefully you see the benefit of what it is that I can do for you. I'm going to be able to give you little tutorials, tips, and tricks on how to get through your course efficiently, quickly, and how to make sure that your paper is spot on. I'm going to make sure that you understand the formatting that you need to be writing so that you don't get not dinged for that. And that way it gives you those points that you need to ensure that you have some padding so that the content of your paper is where you're maybe losing some points and not because of the formatting. I want to ensure that you understand what the formatting requirements are. So that way, you're going to be more successful and more likely to receive a good grade. So that being said, I hope that you will consider making an appointment with me. I do have drop-in hours on Wednesday and Thursday. My hours are Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. My drop-in hours are, like I said, Wednesday and Thursday. If for some reason Friday works better for you, I do try to make myself as accessible as possible. And if I have the ability to do so, I will accommodate. So just reach out, let me know. And if my schedule is just absolutely no bueno, I can also give you access to other OPNs like myself who are going to be able to help you. You'll be able to meet with them on, within their schedule. Maybe you're on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. I live in Los Angeles. So if you're on the East Coast and you want to meet with somebody who's in your time zone, let me know. I will give you the link and I will make sure that you are getting the support that you need. I want to make sure that you're getting the support that is customed to you and what your specific needs are. All right. So, any questions? Please don't be shy. Hey, Vivian. It's good to see you. So, oh, I need to also bring up the comments. To kind of limit how many text messages are being sent to your phone and kind of, I don't want to be blowing up your phone like incessantly. There is a commons room. And like I told you about those micro resources where I'm going to be posting videos on how to use ChatGPT to your advantage and ethically, what is a DOI and how can you make that DOI work for you and find resources efficiently, how to cite an APA and to, just little micro resources like that. I'm going to be posting it in a commons room where I am the moderator. And I'm going to send you guys all a link to the Commons Room. And it is my hope that you will take the time to visit that Commons Room because that Commons Room will also educate you on the resources that National University supplies. And I will do things like resources of the month. And if you are actively popping in there just to kind of peruse it, you're able to kind of get the information on your own time because, like I said, I am on the West Coast, and some of you are in Georgia, and some of you are all the way on the other side of the US. So that being said, it might be a good idea for you just to pop in there and see what it is I have for you. And I am going to be focusing more on videos. I think videos and tutorials are a little better than just a flyer. So if you like that format, please let me know. If you'd like to see something in specific to be discussed in there, please go in there and say, hey, I would really love it if you could touch on, and then I will. So that's all I have for you today. If you guys have any questions, please feel free and I will address it. If you guys need to go, uh, hope you all have a blessed day. If you want to hang back and ask questions, I'm happy to answer those questions for you, after. All right. All right. Well, just know I'm here for you. Let me see here. All right. Juan, Napoleon, Cooper, and I am so sorry. iPhone. I kind of forgot your name.